Breaking now, Drone 11 live over a massive landslide in Pittsburgh's West End, taking out a house and shutting down part of Route 51 near the West End Circle. Now the question is, how long will that major road be closed? Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Marlisa Goldsmith. The slide is one of several that we've been following all weekend long. After more rain fell through our area, we have severe weather Team 11 coverage for you tonight. First, let's get to Channel 11's Melanie Marcelco, who's live in the West End, where she just spoke with city officials. Melanie.
Well, Marlisa, you can see the absolute massive response here. These crews still working here on the ground. Heavy machinery behind me. Duquesne light crews are working on those utility poles up on Greenleaf Street. But if you take your attention to the home, that is what's left. Absolutely demolished by this landslide. You can see the roof is almost on the road itself. All that's left standing is a wooden deck where that home once stood. But absolutely incredible images you can see from above from Drone 11. Officials from the city have been monitoring this slide for days. Not only did it completely demolish this house, it also shut down Greenleaf Street, took out utility poles, knocked out power earlier. I'm being told that power has since been restored, but you can see just the massive amount of earth that rolled all the way down this hillside onto the road below. They were making attempts to try and save the home, but knew those attempts were not going to work yesterday. They let the family come back into the home last night, try to save some of their personal belongings. I was told this family of two has lived in this home for 20 years, and they've had some movement on this hillside before, but nothing to this extreme.
This morning it was evident that the home was not going to be saved, and so again we were able to bring the family out just to recover some items from the yard.
And the big concern now is if there could be some more movement. That is something these officials are working on. They're checking very diligently. They say that the dry forecast is a welcome reprieve because that could have really made things a lot worse. Another challenge, that morning commute tomorrow. That is something city officials are working on, putting plans in place and trying to figure out some detours to try to make it as painless as possible. As soon as we get that information, we'll pass that along to you. Reporting live in the West End, I'm Melanie Marcelco, Channel 11 News.
Thanks, Melanie. And now our traffic expert, anchor Tricia Pittman, is here with us, monitoring the impact the slide is having on traffic on Route 51 for tonight and the Monday morning rush hour. Tricia.
Yeah, first want to go over the ramp that is closed, just in case you're not completely familiar with that area. Couldn't figure out exactly what we were talking about. The ramp that takes you from Route 16 Main Street from the West End over toward 837 West Carson. It's also the same ramp that hugs the backside of Mount Washington, coming over toward that area from 51 and 19. If you see this road right here, that's Greenleaf Street. Right about here is where that house was, and all that dirt and debris now pushing down onto 51. So with that ramp being closed, I know this is a long detour route, but this is the best way to get around it. You're going to go Parkway West outbound, loop around at Banksville, come back Parkway West inbound, then you're going to go Interstate Connector, Smithfield Street Bridge, and that takes you back to 837 Carson Street. It'll probably take you about an additional 15 minutes out of your way, so be prepared for that. Also want to remind you that the 10th Street bypass is still closed. Fort Duquesne Boulevard, just the street next to it, will be your alternate route, and then also Mon Wharf closed, but the bathtub is open, so that will not impact the morning commute. Just the same, we'll be keeping a close eye tomorrow morning on that landslide and that closure of 51 in the West End, and we'll have all the information you need to know from 4:30 to 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Let's head back to the news desk.
As I'm sure you know, all these landslides are happening because of all the recent rain we've seen. Pittsburgh's chief meteorologist Stephen Cropper is live with us tonight because of the serious threat across the region. Stephen.
Yeah, Marlisa, we've been talking about rain now all month. Only 4 days this month have not included rain or snow, so it's rained almost every day. The numbers on the screen here representing the rain in the last 24 hours. Some areas well over a half inch. Pittsburgh International coming up around 3/10 of an inch, and all of that rain has added up to over 7 inches of precipitation just so far this month. So new record for you in terms of how much precipitation for the month, and that's 4 inches above the average. Coming up, I'll talk more about what we can expect as we head through the evening tonight and into tomorrow morning. Meteorologist Kevin Benson and I are looking over the storm tracker maps. We'll show you when the next round of wet weather's moving in.
Tonight, another collapsed hillside is causing damage for business owners in Beachview. Channel 11's Aaron Clark is live along West Liberty Avenue tonight with the very latest. Aaron.
Marlisa, business owners here tell us that in the last 24 hours, trees fell on 4 vehicles here, and you can see them. Take a look over there. And then also a tree fell on top of the building there that houses the Advanced Auto Parts. And right down here, well, this is still part of one of those trees that fell down over this hillside into this small shopping plaza here. Now, the businesses, they are still open, but there is caution tape here closing off this portion of the parking lot as water is still streaming down from that hillside, presumably from the recent rain that we had. And that rain made a precarious situation so much worse. We told you about this landslide here off of West Liberty Avenue yesterday. And when we came out here yesterday, well, the hillside seemed like it was secured. But then we got a call today around 2:15 that the landslide that had stopped behind these buildings had actually started again and slid into the shopping plaza. The owner of the shopping plaza and also the owner of one of the businesses both told us that it was a matter of time before their properties were damaged.
2 days ago, a tree came down in my neighbor's property and hit some cars. The next day, a tree came down on my property from the hillside and hit my parking lot. This morning, 2 additional trees came down, one of which hit my Advanced Auto building.
For the last 3 days, the trees have been falling down on the other property. So when I felt it, I knew it was happening. I knew where it came from. I didn't know exactly where it hit on the building, but I knew it was a tree.
And coming up tonight on Channel 11 News at 10 on Fox 53 and 11 at 11, we'll tell you why these folks are still concerned, and we'll also try to find out from the city what they're doing to deal with this situation. For now, that's the latest reporting from Beachview. I'm Erin Clark, Channel 11 News.
Thanks, Aaron. And another landslide is keeping a road in Squirrel Hill closed tonight. It's been like that on and off since Friday. We're talking about Forward Avenue. Check it out right here. It connects Squirrel Hill to Swiss Home Park. We'll let you know when it's scheduled to reopen. Stick with Channel 11 throughout the rest of this newscast and for 11 at 11 tonight for the very latest on the landslides and their impact on traffic, so you know what to expect before you head off to bed. Friends and family and strangers searched for a missing man this afternoon. John Van Dyke was last seen Wednesday in the Swissville area. We're told he didn't show up for work in Oakland on Thursday. Today, a group gathered at Station Square to organize a search. His family told Channel 11 they filed a missing persons report with Swissville police. Still no suspects tonight in a shooting this morning in Braddock. Police responded to Braddock Avenue around 9 this morning. There they found a man shot inside of a car. He was taken to the hospital in stable condition. A woman was also in the car, but we're told she wasn't hurt. The 2018 Olympic Games are actually finished now. The closing ceremony already held, but you'll get to see it tonight right here on Channel 11. As you can imagine, it's going to be quite the show, with Team USA celebrating along with the rest of the world. The closing ceremony will be full of K-pop and hopes for peace. And of course, Team USA will be a major part of it. Gold medalist Amanda Kessel tweeted this picture from the ceremony. Check it out. A photo with some of her teammates simply saying, "The end. Thank you, Pyeongchang 2018. Tonight's closing ceremony will have 2 very engaging hosts. You know who I'm talking about, Tara and Johnny. Tara Lipinski and Johnny Weir will be there to take you through all the pageantry, of course. Channel 11 News anchor Gordon Lesh was there and is putting together his final report on the closing ceremony, which you'll see after the program tonight. Before the games ended, we had our final competition, the 30-kilometer women's cross country. Now, that's a little more than 18 miles if you're keeping track. If you haven't watched this race, just use your imagination for a moment. Picture this, a marathon, but running uphill in the snow on skis for an hour and a half or so. American Jessie Diggins gave it her all, collapsing at the end of the race, but she came in 7th place. After that, by the way, she was the flag bearer at the closing ceremony. The final medal standings have Norway on top with 39 medals. Team USA finished 4th with 23 total medals, 9 of which are gold. And in about 10 minutes or so, we'll go to Gordon Lesh in South Korea, where he brings us the biggest moments and biggest athletes he spoke with during the games. A Pennsylvania senator weighs in on the gun debate. What Pat Toomey is saying about a proposal that would require people to be older to buy a gun. And we continue to follow breaking news, a landslide near Route 51. We're there live to bring you an update from the scene in just minutes.
Severe Weather Team 11 on Channel 11 News now brings you the